Today I want to talk to you about the media profiting off stories by showing videos of the police using excessive force towards blacks only to cause negative reactions for more stories. It has been known for many years that the news media survives on ratings. The way the ratings are produced, it is by the use of stories that causes reactions to those that watch the news. It also has been known for years that the news will not, in fact, tell their stories fully by keeping parts of it out to get even better reactions. Like today, the use of videos sent in from individual cell phones are the largest tool the media uses today. The problem is, once the media has it, they control what is shown to us. One example is the video showing police arresting blacks allegedly using excessive force. Another example is the media showing black reactions, hoping it will cause more stories. Now, it is time to open everyone's eyes to the facts that you are all pawns for the media, but the blacks are the media's prophets and their rating makers in these types of stories. The media's negative direction by only showing parts of the video and not the full video story during arrest to cause negative reactions by the blacks and by showing how they act as being uncontrollable on the news for profit and ratings is not only wrong, unethical, it is downgrading the black population. We have all seen these videos, and it makes me angry over the way the media is handling these stories. Fox News and CNN are the biggest contributors in profiting and getting higher ratings from negative reactions by their audiences. Cell phones are used by the public when incidents happen by recording the event and then giving the video to the media. The media then goes over the video and decides to use only portions of the video, leaving out parts that show why and how these types of incidents really happen. Using negative stories to build higher ratings by making a race of people, for example the blacks, to look bad to those of other races, has become a habit by the media that needs to end. The sad part is that the blacks are not seeing the facts that they are being used so that others can make a profit and build their ratings up by causing reactions for others to hate when seeing the destruction the blacks were causing during the protests. The way news agencies hide facts to manipulate the way the audience see those stories is saying that we do not have the intelligence to figure out we are being lied to. Showing these types of stories is causing many to protest before they hear the full story. This also causes many to be arrested during these protests. When a story reveals the true facts, in some cases a protest may not happen and those arrested would not end up with a criminal record that will last a lifetime. According to the Daily Source, in June this year, high levels of inaccuracies have occurred by news agencies, and public confidence in the media is low. Sensationalism is on the rise by the news agencies. Over 80% of audience believe sensational stories receives more news coverage simply because they are exciting. According to Lamari Morales, a writer for The Gallup, Americans' distrust in the media hit a new high this year. with 60% saying they have little or no trust in the mass media to report the news fully, accurately, and fairly. The effects of the changing the truth in a story hurts more than one race. Today's actions that we see in the news about the alleged excessive use of force by the police on black people affects everyone, no matter what race they are. First, let's look at the meaning of excessive force. According to Sasha Sagan, ABC News, there is no concrete definition of excessive force. Excessive force is a slippery metaphor. It's any force beyond what's necessary to arrest a suspect and keep the police and bystanders safe. Darren T. Smith, a PhD, stated in the Huffington Post, reaching into people's homes through the media, these negative images influence personal opinions, ideas, and racial attitudes. Once these representations of blackness become familiar and accepted, they fuel wrong perceptions and misunderstandings among the races. Unfortunately, images and words wound and are difficult to erase from the mind. Here's a question that comes to my mind. After the property damages, which was caused by the black protesters, will the business owners in those areas ever want to hire a black person again? Unemployment rates in the black communities after the effect of the excessive force reactions by the protesters will rise. The protesters' destruction of property will remain in the minds of those who own those businesses forever. The knowledge that there are those who will destroy property because of an issue that had nothing to do with those businesses will put fear of hiring those people for a long time. Unemployment will also rise higher in the black communities because most businesses will not return. David Dushner and Joyce Rosenberg, writers in the Huffington Post, wrote, "Rebuilding after riots is difficult and impossible for small businesses because most don't have the cash reserves like large companies. Help may be forthcoming from the Small Business Administration, which has offered low interest rates. However, many business owners don't want loans. They don't want the burden of debt. And many, particularly small retailers, may not have the cash flow to make the payments. The stigma attached to a riot-torn area is an obstacle for small businesses, making banks and investors uneasy committing money." Does the news media do more harm in race relations when they show these types of videos? Stephen Yates, a professor who written an article in the News with Views, wrote, "Anyone who spends time observing media outlets can only come up with one conclusion. They lie habitually, which amounts to impunity. Corporate media plays a role in destroying lives and families to maintain a narrative of white racism and black victimhood. In this environment, we are bound to find a few cases of white cops shooting permissibly innocent black people, a few cases of black cops shooting white people, and black cops shooting black people, and white cops shooting white people. Instead of honoring their responsibility to be truthful, we have seen still more media spin its focus on white cops shooting and killing blacks, fitting their scripted narrative. The point is, media had worsened race relations. We need to realize that the media serve their interests of money and power only. My last words in this: I am angry, and now you know why. The media lets us see what they want us to see, only if it's newsworthy. Why do we continue to allow the media to feed anger in the black communities? Just for profit and ratings. Let's not let the media tell us what we see until it is proven what we are looking at is true. The media's direction in using only partial information to cause negative reactions by the blacks in dealing with certain issues for profit and ratings is wrong and unethical.